Hi guys, welcome back to Shades of Randi Eatz. Today we're doing a little bit of soul food in honor of Black History Month, and our menu consists of pork ribs, country pork ribs, braised greens, and some mac and cheese along with some cornbread dressing. So let's get to cooking. What you're seeing here is our nice country pork ribs, and I'm gonna make them nice and smothered and juicy and really nice. So now what we're doing is adding a little olive oil to the pan so that we can pan sear our country ribs. You want to make sure that your pan is nice and hot so that when you sear these, that they will have a nice crust on both sides. Place them into a hot pan. And what you're going to do is brown these for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. And the reason for doing this is so that we can seal in all of those juices so they can be nice and tender when we eat them. These will be going into a 425-degree oven for about an hour and 20 minutes, covered. And this is the way your pork ribs should look after we've browned them on both sides. It looks so delicious. And we're going to transfer them to a baking dish where they will be sitting and waiting while we go ahead and put together our Cajun gravy. In the pan, you're going to also use all of those bits that are at the bottom, so don't worry about cleaning the pan. Go ahead and leave those bits in, add some olive oil or fat, more fat like butter, and a quarter of a cup to a cup of flour. You're going to go ahead and stir it into a nice paste. Don't be shy to scrape the bottom of the pan because that is where all of your flavor lives. So scrape that. Then we're going to go ahead and add 1 bell pepper, 1 large onion, and 2 celery sticks. And we're going to saute that in the gravy mixture until it's nice and soft. So go ahead and stir those together. Then we're going to add liquid. In this case, we're going to add some beef broth, low sodium. Yeah, there it is. About a cup to a cup and a half. Half a cup to a cup. And we're going to whisk this until it's nice and thick. As they say, don't forget to whisk the bottom because that's where all of the flavor is. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Yes, you're gonna make sure you get all that nice and thick. Look how gooey that looks. Nice and brown too. Now, if you need your gravy to be a little bit more brown, you can always use the browning seasoning. And I believe there's one out there by the name of Banquet. All right, so here my gravy got a little bit thick on me, so I added a little bit more water to kind of thin that out. And also I seasoned it with a little bit of Cajun seasoning. We're gonna pour this nice gravy all over our ribs, and that's how it should look. Yes. Next, we're gonna move on to our greens. We're gonna go ahead and add 1 large onion, roughly chopped. Nothing, too crazy, because once it simmers down, it's gonna be nice and uniform with the greens. Add in 1 grape, for about 2, 3, 5 minutes until they get a little soft. We don't need them completely soft because we're gonna smother these down. And next we're gonna go ahead and add a half a pack of bacon. Just cut the pack in half, and I cut it in thirds actually. And I'm gonna throw it in there and get it nice and crispy like this. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our greens, which is a trio. It's collard greens, kale, and mustard greens. And I love this combination of greens because they're really nice and they're really good. And yes, I got them for Kroger and they were on sale. So thanks, Kroger. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add 2 heaping spoonfuls of chopped garlic. And we're gonna go ahead and keep sauteing this in the pan with the onion and bacon. And go ahead and add a cup to a cup and a half of chicken stock or chicken bouillon or whatever chicken flavoring you have. And also we're going to add about a tablespoon of vinegar. And the vinegar is the additive. It really does add a nice flavor to the greens. It does take the bitterness away. It gives it a nice flavor. You will not taste vinegar at all. It will just be a nice subtle flavor in the background. And next we're moving on to our next dish, which is our cornbread dressing. And so right now I am sauteing the Holy Trinity, which is celery, bell pepper, and onion. And I'm just simmering that down. Also, as a helpful trick, if you ever are trying to saute your vegetables pretty quickly, just add a little bit of water, let it simmer down. Okay, for the cornbread dressing, it's pretty standard. I used a regular box of cornbread. In here, you also have some baked chicken, the Holy Trinity vegetables, celery, bell pepper, and onion, some sage, poultry seasoning, 1 can of condensed cream of chicken, as well as 1 egg, and a cup to 2 cups of chicken broth. Right here, we're just boiling our water for our mac and cheese, and our cheese sauce is getting ready. We're using the large elbow noodles today. For the sake of time, I just threw it together. Basically, I put the cheese and the macaroni noodles together, and I use Velveeta, and I use a pack of mozzarella and cheddar cheese as well for extra gooiness. And here's how your mac and cheese should look before you enter into the oven. I just added some butter on top for flavor and for browning purposes. Here's our beautifully braised greens that has been simmering for the past 20 to 30 minutes, ready to be devoured. Next, yes, is our country ribs that's been in the oven for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. They're falling off at the bone. They're so succulent and ready to be devoured. Well, guys, we've come to the end of this video. We'd just like to say thank you so much for being a support to Shades of Randi Eatz and It's a Celestine Thang YouTube videos. We're greatly appreciative to have you a part of our family. All of the recipes from this video will be linked in the description bar, so be sure to check that out. Thank you so much, guys. Until the next video.